Oh, yeah. Today, we got a tough one. You ever have that feeling? You feel lost? Not lost like you don't know where you are, but like you question, why am I doing this? Think about it. We've all been there where that moment where nothing and everything you try seems to be working. Your goal feels like it is 10, 20, 50,000 miles away. Your progress feels non existent. And the worst part, you don't even know what to do next. You're lost. You're just sitting there, stuck in a fog, asking yourself, why am I even trying to do this? Why do I gotta have these kind of thoughts? Does that sound familiar? Because let me tell you, I've been there. Believe you me. I know it might not seem that way, but it is through some deep introspection that you can help to feel less lost. So, let's dive in. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever been lost in a new city? You step outside and nothing looks familiar. You know, I'm a big traveler, so I like to go to different places, and I also like to know my bearings. But sometimes it is actually quite refreshing to go to a new place and feel completely and utterly like, oh, I gotta learn something new. I gotta try this. You know, you have like no idea where anything is. So what do we start to do? We start to find landmarks and we clarify our direction. So this messy situation, place that we're in, just becomes that much more clear. So what do? You start looking. Maybe you pull out a map. Maybe you ask someone for directions. I know. We don't do that anymore. But you could. Just reaching out to other people could really easily be your saving grace. But I know for some people, hey, I got this. You beat your chest and you're like, hey, I'm going to figure this out all on my own. Well, guess what? It's okay to reach out and ask for help, because that is exactly what you might need. Or maybe, just maybe, you think, you know what? I'm going to just start walking and then I'll figure it out as I go. Because a lot of times, and it's me especially, that's how I approach it. But till recently, I've come to note that I'm just like, you know what? No, let me ask for a little help. Life will always take you in different paths and different directions. And feeling lost is just part of the scenario. It is not a problem. It is just the way it works out. And the worst thing that you could possibly do is stand still. You need to start taking forward steps, moving just a little bit. You know, I love it. The Hobbit, big fan. J.R.R. Tolkien said, not all those who wander are lost. You can wander and really not be lost, but enjoy what is in the whole entire aspect of figuring things out and learning. And I love this because it just reminds me that wandering isn't wasted time. Sometimes you can discover things that you had no idea were right there in your backyard, or right there around the corner. Because, you know, us as humans, we get very fixed into our patterns, and we always have a tendency of going into the same exact, driving down the same block, driving down the same road. But wouldn't it be interesting if you just try something different? So today, I was driving to work, and I forgot something in the house. And instead of just making a U-turn and turning, I was like, you know what? Let me make this right. And right now, I'm in Queens, so let me tell you, when you make a right in Queens, there's no structure or block system. So I found myself somewhere completely, like, I didn't know where I was, and a piece of me was like, you know what? Let me pull out Google Maps, locate it. But then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna figure this out. I have a little time. Let me gather the information of just my bearings, try to figure some stuff out. And let me tell you, I did figure it out, which is even more than impressive. And now in my head, I have a completely new map of what I thought was just like a dark zone to me. So you need to ask yourself that question. What are the dark zones that you are really trying to avoid? Because when you go through them, you can learn a completely different path that could be quite amazing to know. You should understand that you're not necessarily lost. You're gathering information. You're learning what doesn't work, what does work. So you can figure out, okay, this is going to be my approach. Instead of thinking, I have no idea what I'm doing, flip it and say, I'm in the middle of figuring this thing out. Big difference. Completely huge difference. Those kind of thoughts is where I have the most moment. And I realize, okay, I got this. You know, you got to believe in yourself. So, there's this book called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Love his stuff. Really interesting author. And he talks about turning struggles into strength. The whole idea is that when we face challenges, we have two choices. We can see them as roadblocks and stops, or we can see them as part of the process and keep going. So I ask you, how do you want to perceive the situation? Is it a roadblock, or is it just a way for you to progress? And this applies to everything and everywhere in life. Feeling lost is in your career, right? When you first started out, did you know how to do all the things that you did? No, probably not at all. But you still took a step forward and you figured it out. That means you are thinking bigger than just staying in the little, comfortableness that is your normal todayness. Todayness, yes. But struggling, you gotta just realize it's part of the process. It means that you are trying, and that is really, really good, because a lot of people don't even want to try. They don't want to do it. They just want to go with the norm, sit down, watch some TV. Why would you want to read that book? Come on, really? No, you gotta change things up. You need to have a little struggle. It's okay. You're gonna be one of those who win, right? So the way I think about it is, the ones who win, they're not always the ones that had the answer. They're the ones who just kept moving. And even though they didn't know where they were, they learned along the way. So, if you're feeling lost right now, here's what you can do. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Let go of needing to know all the answers today. And just focus on what the next small step is. Because every journey is not gonna have signs. You are going to have to figure out them for yourselves. And that is okay. And if you keep on going, you'll find yourself in a place you never imagined. So trust the process, keep your mindset strong, and remember, being lost just means you're on your way. So keep moving, keep stepping. I'll catch you next time.